Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to today's video. I'm going to be going over Drytron Megalith and show you guys the Megalith engine and what it's capable of. I actually took this deck and played against Gage the other day, and so I might include some gameplay against him. If you guys are interested, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll have that in another video. But I think this deck is very powerful. I decided to play the Megalith engine just as because I know it's been highly requested from you guys, and it's something different and something new. So I figured why not show you guys how the Megalith version works and what it's capable of, and how the deck lists or what the deck lists look like. I'll get started with the main deck. So 3 Alpha. I think that's pretty standard. 3 Drytron Alpha. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit for you guys so you guys can get a clearer picture of the cards. So three Drytron Alpha, 3 Zeta, 2 Delta, 1 Gamma, and then I actually play 1 Beta as a 5th name. I noticed a lot of people are playing DD Crow in the format or some sort of banishing, and Beta can help you recover. So I actually liked it as an additional name. I think 10 names is the number of names that I like to see in terms of optimality. I might consider taking out one of the Delta and playing a second Gamma just because I play Prosperity, and then Delta is not live after you Prosperity. So that's something to consider. So that's the 10 Drytron names. So I'm going to put it to the side. Then we have Triple Ben 10, of course, the cornerstone of this deck, right? Just free pluses. If you make good use of this card, and manage it really well, I think that's like really how you see the difference between like Drytron players. So 3 Ben 10, I don't think I need to explain it. And I play the 1 Herald of Perfection, so that's slightly different than what the standard is, right? Because I think a lot of people played Ultimateness. I think if you guys saw my like LCS profile from a while back, I did play Ultimateness with the Drytron package. But I switched to Perfection mainly for the reason that it has better synergy with the Megalith cards. So, for example, like you can actually ritual summon the Perfection using Auk, but it's really hard to do that if you have a Ultimateness. So Perfection is generally better because it's a lower level, and Perfection is also a card that you can add with Preparation of Rites. So that extra versatility of being able to, if you open a hand with Prep and Bed 10, etc., getting access to the Herald of Perfection is very, very powerful. Off of Prep instead of like using a Ben 10 search to get this card. So it just means that you can use Ben 10 to search away, search like Orange Light in order to play around hand traps rather than search Perfection, which I think is really key. Then for the Megalith package, we play 2 Fool, 1 Auk, and then 1 Bethor. So I'll explain the ratio. The reason why you play 2 and 1 and 1 is mainly for the reason that Fool can actually ritual summon into another Fool from the deck. And why that's so huge is because if you were to get Kaiju'd on, let's say, like Perfection, or let's say Perfection, I don't know, gets like negated, what you can do is you can go like Fool, like for let's say this card gets dropleted, right? You can go Fool or Kaiju'd. So you can go Fool ritual to ritual summon from the deck. You would tribute the Fool to summon another one. Then you use Fool effect to add back the Perfection from the graveyard to the hand. And then you can use Auk effect to actually ritual summon using like itself and like something else to actually summon back the Perfection to play around the Kaiju. So that's a play that I actually did that sometimes actually comes up. So that's like another reason why this card is a lot better being a 6 than a 10. And then this engine just plays into like the trap decks really well. Be able to like guarantee that against either trap or combo decks, the Megalith package like will guarantee that you like wipe out their entire board. So that's like really, really neat. So like I said, these cards have really good application, and in the grind game, these cards are better at recycling back your resources than other ritual engines. Because if you have just access to 1 Drytron, you can use Meteonis and Meteonis the Drytron right away. So that you can summon Fool, which is something that you can't do with any other ritual monster. So there's that. Next, for some additional cards that are just strong. 3 orange because it helps you play around Joel. Manju, Cyber Petite, and Ava, and then Dawn Knight. So I play the Cyber Petite because it's a really good card for follow up. And in this version of the Megalith, you actually only go through like one. You can actually open up one Ben 10 and loop it enough time with the Megalith engine that you can leave 2 other Ben 10s in your deck. To make sure that your grind game is like really strong, even if you like somehow like don't win or if you get hand trapped a lot. So like the Cyber Petite has really good value as long as there's a Ben 10 left in your deck. You might notice that I don't play Natasha mainly because you actually don't need it and it becomes a brick if you're playing the Megalith version. More often than not, like you can just instead of summoning Natasha and then using his effect to take, Bethor can just wipe the field and help you just win the game anyways. That if you're playing the Megalith version, I don't recommend playing Natasha because it's like another brick that you'll add to your deck. So that's pretty much it for the main monster count. Then we have the spell, the new card that just came out. 3 Pot of Prosperity. This card is bonkers in this deck. So the main reason why I like this card a lot is because if you've been playing Drytron, you've noticed that you don't actually use most of your extra deck, right? Like the combo doesn't revolve around your a lot of your extra deck. So this card allows you to dig for ways to play through Droll. It allows you to dig for blowout cards in game 2 and 3. It lets you dig for like orange. It lets you dig for called by. Like the cards that you can see off Prosperity, and having that choice to pick based on your hand just makes this card like so insane. So I absolutely love this card. I think this card is amazing, especially in this deck where like the extra deck doesn't really matter. And you can like tailor your extra deck based on like your opponents too and what they're playing. So this card is just like so insane. And yeah, this card has won me like so many games. And if you watch the game against Gage, like I think one of the games I ripped like Lightning Storm, Duster, like just ridiculous card. One game I ripped Called by, like orange. Like I just like see like I have full combo. I pick up the orange and then I just like play through everything. Like it's just so crazy. I got hand trapped like 3 times with Gage, against Gage actually. But this card let me see the orange so that I can play through them. 3 emergency because seeing a Drytron name is really important. 3 Nova, so like along the same lines, right? So we have 10 names plus like 6 ways to get access to them. With 3 Nova, 3 emergency. And then I also play 2 Fafnir, so that's 18 ways to a Drytron name, not including Prosperity that like can just let you see a name anyways. So the deck is very, very consistent. And then I play only 2 prep now. I had to cut 1 prep to fit like the 3 Prosperity in. The reason why is that's like the main reason why like prep is at 2 now. The thing is Prosperity can also serve as a pseudo prep because it can like just rip the Ben 10 from the top 6, you know. But that versatility of the pot makes it better than prep in my opinion. So that's why I only play 2 of the prep. I also like regarding Fafnir. The reason why I play 2 Fafnir is because it's just like from a mathematics perspective, 5 is the most optimal number. So basically, this card gets you Nova more often than not. Sometimes you search Meteonis with it, but for the most part, you're searching Nova. And so, like, mathematically, you want to play 5 copies of a card that does the same thing for the highest chance of seeing it as a one of instead of seeing multiples. And so that's why I play 3 and 2 here. For those of you wondering on the ratios. And then the last 2 cards I play is the 1 Ritual Spell Meteonis and then 1 Call by the Grave. To like round out 40 cards in the main deck. For the extra deck, I play IP Masquerena, Cerberus, Nightmare Phoenix, Nightmare Unicorn, and then hold on for the link. Also for some of the link 2s, sorry guys. I play 2 Carrier because of its ability to like grind. This one could also be a Ningirsu, by the way, but I play 2 Carrier because there are situations where the first carrier gets disrupted, especially as you're playing through like interruption. So you want to have access to a second one, especially in like the grind games. So that's like the main reason. Then you have like cards like Link Rebo and Anima for Link 1s. And then for the Link 4s, we have Appaloosa, we have Access Code, and we have Boral Sword. So just like really good utility cards. And like I said, with Prosperity, you choose what you need or don't need. So and I'll explain that after I cover the extra deck about what cards I take in and out for Prosperity. And then for the XYZs, we have Downward Magician, Nightingale, Dweller, which is very powerful Floodgate, and then we have Zeus. The Dweller can also be like Low Fuko, so it just really depends. I like the Dweller because it's a card that you can also have it as your end board. But regarding Prosperity now, I'll show you guys what I take in and out based on my hand. So if I have Prosperity in my hand, and for example, I know that I'm not going to be activating Nova, I can just take out Karibo and Anima and then banish them, because I know that if I'm going first and I'm playing against and I don't have Nova, the Karibo Anima play just doesn't come up in order for you to make carrier, right? Like, I'm not playing Anima to, like, you know, play, like, for people to, like, play poorly and play into it. I play Anima mainly for the reason of the carrier, but it has that, like, ability to also, like, you know, punish people for playing poorly. So that's like the reason why you play Anima, and to make that carrier after you Nova. So it makes Nova a 1-card carrier. And then the last card I would usually take down is Dweller, depending on the end board, or the second carrier. And so like you can banish. These are like the 3 you can banish if your hand is like really really strong. If your hand's like even like somewhat average, you only banish 3. And your hand gets like a lot better. But if your hand is like pretty poor, you would want to banish 6 so that you see like you want to see like a card that's like very strong to make your hand like from like mediocre to like very powerful. And so like the next cards that I would take would be if I'm going first would be like Nightmare Phoenix, right? Because it's a card that I know that I'm not going to be making, since if I end on the Megalith package, like I'm going to blow out their back row anyways. The other card that I generally try to take out is Cerberus. So Cerberus is really good at punishing people when they play poorly by putting a Zeus in the main monster zone or a Drytron in the main monster zone, or basically not respecting Cerberus, right? But I would still banish it, just mainly for the fact that if I'm going first, I try to end on my end board is usually like an IP plus you know, like Link Rebo, like names, Perfection, Fool, and then Awk. And so in that most of the time I'm either making a Unicorn or an Appaloosa. So these are the cards that I want to keep. And so that's why like I don't mind giving these 2 up. And then the last card I usually give away is Dweller. And that's just because if my hand is like isn't that powerful, I'm not gonna be making Dweller anyways. I'm gonna try to go for a safer end board that plays through more interactions. And so as a result, then I can probably banish the Dweller, and then I get to keep these. So like I still have the Zeus package if they crack the board to like play around stuff. I have IP, which is like part of my end board. I have Appaloosa, which is a card I can make. I have Carry, which is part of the combo. I have Unicorn to like IP into, and then I have Sword and Access Code as utility Link 4s that can help me like end the game. If you want, you can also swap any of these with like either a Phoenix or a Cerberus, depending on what you're playing against. So that's something to like consider as well. But that's kind of like a very fast explanation, hopefully succinct enough for you guys about Pot of Prosperity in this deck and like how it works with the extra deck. So now we're going to this side deck. So I play 3 tactics because this is one of those cards that, okay, first of all, you're playing Drytrons. Expect people to have Droll, Psycho Reader, and like God knows every hand trap in existence for your deck, right? Like it's a deck that's super prepared for right now in the format. So what does that mean? That means that card, like if you know you're gonna be getting hand trap a million times, cards like Tactics, ripping a card out of your opponent's hand or drawing 2 cards to like keep playing is very very strong. So that's why I like siding Tactics, especially post side where like a bajillion hand traps comes in. This is also a card that lets you help you out Dragoon as well. So I like this card a lot. If you take their Dragoon, you like kill them most of the time. So that's the Tactics. And then for more spell cards in the side deck, I play 3 Lightning Storm, and then Harpy Feather Duster. So I think one of the Lightning Storms should be a red reboot, but I play 4 back row removal, and then with 3 Prosperity, like the chances of you seeing these cards are very high. And so like it basically forces your opponent to use an Ash on Prosperity, because if they don't, there's a chance that you hit like any of these like powerful back row cards, in like back row removal cards, into like those trap decks, and they just auto lose the game. So Prosperity is like that's why like Prosperity has really good synergy with like not only your main deck but your side deck too. So yeah, these cards are like ridiculous. I don't think I really need to explain these. I think if you want to, you can ask, if you're afraid of like the Shaddoll deck, of course, right? It's gaining popularity. I would take out the 3 Lightning Storm, and then play Twin Twisters instead, or like Cosmic Cyclone. Something to consider. Probably Cosmic Cyclone as a 1-for-1 though, because when you Twin Twister, there's a chance that you can lose the card you put in the graveyard. And then for the rest, which is gonna be 8 cards, it's gonna be the hand traps. So we have 2 Droll, and then we have 3 Psycho Heater, and then 3 Lancia. So basically, I want at least 5 hand traps post side for like the mirror match or virtual world. So for the mirror match, I want to have at least 5 hand traps, because it's like I said, 5 is the most optimal number for seeing 1. So if you're not playing 5, then you can play like generally, I think, is it 13, which gives you the highest chances of seeing 2. And so essentially it's either 5 or like 13 in my opinion, for like those matchups, right? And then the other things for the virtual matchup, I still put in Droll. So Droll is like an overlapping card for both Virtual World and Drytron, so that's why that card is at 2. And the 3 Lancias, but it's not super impactful. So it's at 2 because it's overlapping into like the Drytron and the Virtual World, but it's not a blowout against Virtual World, but it's still playable into the Virtual matchup. So that's why it's not 3 Droll. Psycho Reader like is a very high impact hand trap against Drytron, and Droll is a very high hand trap, high impact as well, but I couldn't find 2 cards that was medium impact, or at least high impact in one, that would fit into both. Like I thought about maybe Nibiru, but could be a little bit better because it's really strong into like the rogue combo decks. But that's something I wanted to consider as well. But these are what I would play, assuming that the majority of the people I would meet at a tournament is mainly playing Virtual World and or Drytron. So yeah, so 5 hand traps to the Virtual World matchups, and then 5 hand traps into the Drytron matchup. So that was like the reason I choose to like play these ratios, right? So trying to justify it with math as well, in order to explain why I play what I play. And that's pretty much it for the deck profile, guys. Definitely recommend you guys give this deck a try. I had a lot of fun with it. I think the Megalith cards add like some cool spice to the deck. And yeah, let me know how it goes for you guys, and let me know in the comment section below your thoughts on Megalith version. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Also, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, guys. Helps the algorithm a lot. And apparently, if I tell you guys to subscribe, you guys tend to for some reason. But if I don't say it, like, no one subscribes. So I'm like, oh my god, guys, just subscribe, please. Anyways, I love you guys. Appreciate you. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.